Yep.
Best footwear known to man,
Love
barefoot.
being barefoot, dude.
Right?
My dad gets on me about that all the time. Put some shoes on. I'm like, bro, I love being barefoot.
One of the ladies said, damn, that's country. I was like, hey,
that's me.
Don't knock it till you try it.
For sure.
What area, you've been all around the state, you've probably been all around the country now. Where do you find in Louisiana is the best food?
Ooh, man.
I know that's going to probably get you in trouble.
No, bro, this is look, I know, when you're thinking about content, this is the question to ask, bro, for sure. So, I'm glad you asked me. So I tell people this answer all the time, right? So I'm born and raised in New Orleans on top of my family's po' boy and plate lunch restaurant. All right. Grew up in New Orleans around all of my, aunts and aunties, or aunties, I should say. You know what I'm saying? Like the full spectrum.
I can't wait.
The full
spectrum. Come on, bro. Bring it.
The full spectrum of people. I have lived in New Orleans, born and raised. I have lived on the North Shore. I have lived in Thibodaux. I have lived in Alexandria. I have lived in downtown Lafayette, the north side of Lafayette, the south side of Lafayette. I've touched just about everywhere. I haven't lived in Lake Charles or North Louisiana, but I've spent enough time in all those areas. So I will tell you, from the affordability aspect of food,
we're breaking it down into budget.
Dude, this is how you got to get. This is how you got to give the answer, because New Orleans is in this crazy spot. You got a lot of people flooding to the city, and the New Orleans area is getting so expensive. It's like, man, if I had to pick a place where I had to eat out every day, would it be in New Orleans right now? Absolutely not, because it's not sustainable. It's expensive. Whereas like out here, it's crazy to me that a pound of boudin is like $5, $6, $7 now, because when I got here it was like $2.99. But so you talk about like the financial state of the world we're living in is nuts, because it's like, I remember when crackling was like $13 a pound, and people are like, it's so expensive. Now it's like $25, $26, $27.
Is it really? I remember when it was 18,
bro,
and it was like, damn, that's expensive.
Crackling is $23, $24, $25 a pound, bro. Because what happens is you get a 90-pound case of pork belly.
Yeah, and it goes down to... Yeah.
You got to make your margin.
And that's a lot of work.
You got You got to make your margin. So, all that being said, New Orleans, from a fine dining aspect, takes the cake. Across the state, no problem, right? I think from a daily plate, and po' boys, I love old time. I love pops. But like, dude, a New Orleans po' boy to me, like a dress shrimp po' boy dress with hot sauce and pickles, a Barks root beer, some Zapp's potato chips, onion rings, and a lemon pie from Hubig's, oh my goodness, can't be touched, in my opinion.
And what's your favorite po' boy joint in New Orleans?
My dad. It's got to be Pops. We've gone to eat at other places, but how can you top that nostalgia? You can't. But so from the affordability aspect, the day-to-day living, you got to go Lafayette, because the flavor is unbelievable, and for some reason, something I get on my restaurants about all the time, everybody's in this race to the bottom. You know what I'm saying? One of the biggest problems we have in this town, we have too many restaurants, period. There's way too many. A plate lunch spot closes, another one opens up thinking they're going to, change the game. Not saying you can't have success, but what ends up happening is everybody gets in this race of serving so much food at, oh man, you can get, how often do we hear in Acadiana, oh man, you spend $15, $16 on a plate, you can eat on it for 3 days. That's a problem.
That's a problem.
That is a problem.
Yeah.
Because what starts happening? You've got people trying to make a living, the cost of goods are going up, and then you start spoiling people by the cost of what, oh man, this used to be, look at us. We're talking about crackling, boudin, like all of the things worth every penny now compared to even what it was 10 years ago. But all that being said, it's like every time you got to go up, it just makes that cut deeper and deeper. Conversations I have at restaurants all day, every day, it's like, hey, bro, how much you sell that for? Say they tell me 10. I'm like, why not 15? Oh, I can't do that. Well, why not? Oh, well.
I spoiled my client, my customers.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, but then we have a lot of good restaurants that are open that are charging what they should. Oh, they're too high. But it's like, dude, I don't do anything to survive. You know what I'm saying? I don't wake up every day trying to survive. I'm not trying to maybe bring my kids to Disneyland. No, we going to Disneyland. I'm not trying. Oh, but Daddy, I want to see snow. Let's go. I'm not trying to put my family in a situation where I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So why would our restaurants do that same thing? Oh man, just trying to make it. Like, man, you packed. What are we talking about? Oh well, they don't want to pay. Like, well, bruh, you got man, everybody. It's a music conversation, a food conversation, all of the cultural things that we are so blessed to have here, especially in the 337 area, right? Lafayette, Acadiana, Lake Charles, all of our, I would say, rural, smaller kind of aspects of our state compared to New Orleans and Baton Rouge, we're all fighting the same battle. What makes us so unique and so special in this portion of our state and this portion of the country is not sustainable right now. You know what I'm saying? Like that food, this rice and gravy, this 7 steak. Man, I can't believe oxtails are $22 a plate. Like, well, bruh, people keep buying them because you're selling them too cheap, man. Like, it's just
it's not sustainable.
It's
long
not.
term.
It is not at all.
So do you think that we're going to lose some of the cultural impact we have over time because the mom and pop shops are going to go away because they can't afford to survive?
Dude, I've got my dad's got a thriving restaurant right now, and I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
When was that ever? You think if my dad were growing up in that situation, he would have ever thought about doing something else?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like now it's my job to support those people. You know what I'm saying? KLFY News 10 to do it in Acadiana on my social media. I'm working with all kinds of different people to make sure we can lift up these small businesses.
Yeah.
But the reality of it is, bro, it's like a $2,500, a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 weekend ain't as big of a lick as it used to be when I started doing this a decade ago, bro. Right. Now they need it. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Now it's a need. Hey, bro, I could really use the boost instead of like, wow, thank you for that. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's almost like this sense of, hey, Gerald, I need you.
Yeah.
You know? But and I'm talking about busy restaurants too, bro.
Yeah, so let's deconstruct that. On your social media,
yep.
Because we're going to have some new Gerald fans, you go out to these restaurants, you display their food,
yep.
You give them some love, you talk about an order, you show, you pump them up, and you do that out of the kindness of your heart. And you do that because you have a love and appreciation for restaurants because your dad was a restaurateur. You grew up on top of a restaurant.
Yep.
And so you go out and you help, and it could go viral. It could be 15,000 likes, something crazy.
Yep.
That's going to bring people to them.
Yep.
And you started to see a trend where people went from kind of appreciating it to almost needing it because the restaurant environment has gotten so difficult to keep up with inflation and
everything.
The customers are dealing with inflation in other areas of their life, so they're less likely to go eat. They're more price sensitive. Their cost of goods are going up. That's been a trend. And so what do you do now? What responsibility do you have, and what are you trying to do to help? Well,
so that's what's been,
other than giving them some real talk.
Yeah.
Right
so like, you know, I will tell you.
By the way, you don't have to convince me not to have a restaurant. I talk about this all the time. And I respect the heck out of restaurateurs.
Oh man,
because it's brutal. You and I talked about that.
Yeah.
Like the amount of capital and labor and cost of goods. It's insane.
It's a lifestyle, bro.
It's a lifestyle. Ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. You're good. So, you know, from the social aspect, right? On KLFY News 10, our Acadiana Eats segment was started 100% to support local restaurants and showcase local restaurants on TV. There was never, hey, I want to eat free food. Hey, this, that, and the other. I grew up like that. I've never been like, you know, the worst thing.
You want to eat free food?
The worst thing you can tell me as a person, bro. Seriously.
People do it of working for the local news all the time.
Dude, the worst thing you can do to me right now is like, hey, Gerald, you know, we'll feed you. Like, bro, that does not get me excited. It doesn't. Because bro, you talk about somebody that eats or goes out to eat or can go out to eat for free wherever he wants, whenever he wants, all day.
Y'all are killing me.
But bro, the reality of it is like that doesn't get me excited. Me helping you as a person or you telling me what's really going on with you is what helps get me motivated. Not like, hey, cheeseburgers on me. The worst, bro. The worst situations that can happen. And this, hopefully the people that do get to see this or hear this are restaurateurs that I've worked with in the past. What feels like the biggest slap in the face to me, because when I come see you, no questions asked, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to try and do everything I can to lift you up.
Of course.
I go back to that place to support, right? Dude, this makes my blood boil. I'm telling you, bro.
I know what you're going to say.
Dude, they'll say, hey, man. I'm like, yo, I want this, this, and this, right? And then instead of just checking me out and let me pay for my meal, they'll be like, hey, I didn't charge you for the chicken tenders. I'm a huge believer in like, bruh, don't take food from those that are going to brag about feeding you. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, I never want to take a meal from somebody that's going to be like, oh, yeah, see what Gerald's wearing? I gave him that. You see what Gerald's eating? I gave him. Never take food from someone that's going to brag about feeding you. It's something that I hold near and dear to my heart.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Because I told you earlier, I never want to be in a position where somebody feels like they gave me something, ever.
Yeah.
Everything I do, I went and got. We either relationship-wise, it's been a natural thing, or it's something that we've built. It's all come natural. I never want to feel like I owe anyone so I don't want a handout. So when you tell me after I packed out your restaurant with a television segment or a social media segment, oh, hey, and by the way, I didn't charge you for that link of Boudin. But then, like, bro, either do it and don't say anything.
Right.
And, oh, cool, that was nice of you. Or, I get on my dad all the time. We went out to eat. Guy brings out a bottle of champagne for us to have at the table. My dad ruined it. You want to know why? Because he's like, hey, Gerald, you see that? Huh? Give me a bottle of champagne. I said, Dad, you just killed it. You were the man until you said that. You know what I'm saying? And then, my mom's like, Gerald, you're so rude. I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, act like you've been there, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, the big time is where you're at. So when people told me that I wouldn't be able to build a life for myself in Lafayette, Louisiana, doing what I do, I never thought about it. I've realized how much I've heard that before, and now it's been really fun to be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Go ahead and tell me. But from the restaurant aspect of what I need to do or what we have been doing, Acadiana Eats on KLFY News 10 is still, it's the most popular restaurant segment in the state when it comes to local television. Not even close. Man, we put a restaurant on Acadiana Eats, and if we don't have a thunderstorm or if it's not a food truck and it's so hot outside, it's going to be packed.
Really?
It's going to look like Chick-fil-A, bro. I say that all the time. But from the social aspect,
you gave me goosebumps, man.
Yeah, dude. I'm glad. But from the social aspect, what has been so awesome is working with tourism offices, right? Traveling around the state, kind of bouncing off ideas, really working with them to kind of hit some spots that need love, but also be in touch with good people. Because another thing is, like, every restaurant owner you go to, that don't mean that's a good person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have a gift. I spend time with people, they go, hey, that's my boy, But it's like, you ain't meeting my wife. You ain't meeting my kids. You ain't coming to my house. Now, I can say what's up and we can rock, we can chill, we can rock and roll, we can talk or whatever. But, like, there are certain cats, you meet them and it's like, And then you start to see it all play out and all the dots start to connect, right? So from the restaurant aspect of what I do, so much of it, it's almost like I come in either, from the social side, if a video does well or if a video doesn't do well. One of the things that I've loved so much about the social media aspect of what I do is you have people that are so excited and just fired up that we're there. And then for us to put them on my platforms and then for them to, man, I had 1 million people look at my shrimp po' boy or my soft shell crab po' boy or this gumbo or this plate lunch or this pizza, this hamburger. That excitement that resonates within the community, within their family, within their household, it rejuvenates their love for what they do. You know what I'm saying?
With the staff, I told you I hired, we're talking about this, and I hired Kevin. Mm-hmm. And Kevin is a new attorney. He's been practicing for 10 years. He's a good friend. I was fortunate and blessed to hire him. I told him on a run, we run together too. I got him running. And it hit me, man. I was having runner's high. I said, Kevin, if all you do was energize me and re-energize me and get me out of just the status quo, I don't care if you do a damn thing here, it was worth the money.
Oh, no doubt.
And so when you talk about re-energizing a staff, an owner, a manager, a wife, a family, a community, dude, that's worth more than the people walking through the door.
Correct.
Long term.
Correct.
Long term.
Correct.
Long
Correct.
term.
Correct.
Because like you said, they're going to come in and come go, right? You still got to have the product.
Correct.
They could come, Gerald, you could go viral, 5 million people. Yep. If the food quality doesn't last past a week, they're going to be right back in the same spot.
Well, and that's what's been so fun about the social aspect of the the love that we get, and I think people realize now, because that's what's crazy about social, and that's what's so funny. The conversation I have all the time is like, man, I can't believe you're still doing all that. I'm like, well, why wouldn't I? First of all. Secondly, like the television aspect of what we do, boom, because we got 30, 40, 50, 60,000 people all day choosing to watch KLFY, and they want to see what we're doing, right? Social, you don't control what's real, or like people have to go to their phone and search Gerald Gruenig to see, like, but then it's like, okay, that's another like it's a pretty unique thing to jump onto somebody's page and do that every day. You get what I'm saying? Whereas like television, boop, turn it on, we're on, they're locked in. Hey, they're choosing to watch us. You don't choose what your algorithm, you can try and shape what your algorithm feeds you. So for me to post a video that, you know, my crawfish ball stuff that I do blows up, right? An order video, like I have one pinned on my TikTok right now, like almost 6.5 million views.
People love seeing ball crawfish.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
But also that his brand and my brand, like the crawfish boss, the daiquiri, all of the things that kind of go with it. It's just been a really great fit. But that all being said, one thing that I've totally learned is like these people, for one, excited that John and I are here because, you know, we roll up, dude. We got almost, you know, now it's more than 3 million followers between the both of us, right? So that's exciting, right? But then, oh, Gerald's not just posting one video. He's going to post a week's worth at our restaurant. And then that juice, that energy, that excitement from us visiting, from the video work, from the people engaging with us while we're shooting, it's just awesome memories, bro. And I'm going to tell you something. When I got sick, right, because for those that don't know, I had Hodgkin's lymphoma. I've been in remission almost a year. When I got sick, one of the things that stood out to me was the aspect of, man, your health, Gerald. What does that look like? These memories that I'm creating on my page, these memories that have been created on television for the last decade are living testaments to my life and what I've poured into this community, to this state, and to people around me. And knowing that we have video, that we have these things, right? These interviews with my dad that I've done on social, these interviews that I've done with musicians on TV or and restaurant owners who passed. You know, Lionel Robin was the executive chef.
I know Mr. Lionel well.
Oh, no doubt, passed, right?
Yeah.
In a plane crash.
Yeah.
Guess what they ran at his funeral, at his celebration of life throughout his Acadiana Eats segment that we did at KLFY. What a fun way to hear somebody's voice, their memory, their space. Cool. And I've taken so much pride and passion in that, where if a restaurant maybe after we went has starting to slow down, or it's been 6 months to a year, if they can go back and look at that clip and smile, be like, man, that was a blast, and have that same juice, that even just a little bit of that same energy we gave them when we visited, bro, that's huge.
I hung out with Mr. Lionel the weekend before he died at a duck camp. Yeah. And his stories were legendary.
Oh, he's a cat, bro.
But
good dude.
First of all, like, thank you for sharing your struggle and your journey. I shouldn't say a struggle. I mean, it was a major medical setback, but you shared it with the public, and I followed along, and I'm so glad you're doing well.
Thank you, brother.
In remission.
Yep.
And
God is good, brother. There's no doubt, man.
You look amazing.
Yeah, thank you. A lot of push-ups. We're working on it. Man. No sugar either. They tried trapping me when I walked in here. It's like, yeah, we got a little box of sweet. I'm like, man, that's
Keller's too.
It's been on my mind since I walked in.
But
no sugar's got me in a chokehold.
No more Fagos.
But I tell everyone, if that's one of my biggest sells is to come on the podcast. Yeah. Hey, give me an hour of your time, and you're going to have something that your family can listen to, an hour of me and you chopping it up for an hour that will last forever. Yeah. You know, and that's a big thing, legacy, man.
And I'm realizing as you say that, you know, if we're, you know, we all think we're promised, you know, getting down these steps from this studio. We all think I can get up, you know, like life can happen in an instant. Quick. And what's been so, as you know, doing what you do for a living,
that's right.
You've got so many people that, you know, think, oh, I was on my way to do this, and then boom, I got hit, or, you know, something happened. I had a stroke. I had a heart attack. My daughter had X, Y, and Z happen, and then their life changes forever. I never take that for granted. I love that I was given a certain perspective from my illness where now I get to, I've always been a stop and smell the roses type dude, but I never used to put that on people. Now, whenever I can, when the time calls for it, I make sure people know real quick how lucky they are to even be in this moment. You know what I'm saying?
Confucius says a man has 2 lives, and the second one starts when he realizes he only has one.
Yep.
Right?
Oh, no doubt.
Hey, it would mean the world to me if you subscribe to the podcast and leave us a 5-star review. It helps keep the show free, and it helps us book better guests to provide more valuable content to you. None of the opinions expressed by my guests are that of my own, and nothing we talked about creates an attorney-client relationship or could be construed as legal advice. Hope you enjoy the show.